education mu kakra education and saying nsem dodo na NACC ewo ye schools mu ama education minister de nsem ababetu dwa na say e de no ka first of all or say the double track system work Ghana ba Ghana no ama and said about meboa. The double track system undoubtedly is affecting the delivery of the quality of secondary education. It does not allow for sufficient student to teacher contact. Haruna Ijusu, a minister for education, in some of the 2 years. As a time nusa and chronicle school man because of say green and a gold and a red batch by batch. Also we move no mo koninti. Amase si ameno kasei. Teacher to student contact no eswate aba form teachers no they don't have enough time to engage the students, prepare them very well for exams. Any ante enti ono de omo behwe na omo adi hu dwuma no ahwe kwan omefa so a double track system no omo ebetimi ehia free one and double track system ne buy because of the free SHS ne buy no omo nya akonya call SHS no omo adoso omo be doso to the extent say na o se ehwe na ye pe kwan bi a ye befa so a ebetimi a contain omu nyina e wo school mu amana ye ntia no ena ema sa nema no enyina eba ye no. That is the updates of free the education minister ho enti eba na kwesi kwaten a spokesperson edema honorable Kennedy Akompre Japan papa yi nsem abetudwa waye a write up tin about the double track system no na ye bekwa kohwem kakra na etutu ne srani abasa ba bi hu hia no ye de atomanim na mahwe se de enema no esi eko. That is education minister Ochemu enema ekoso double track no emwa education system especially on SHS we kwesi kwaten ono so ne nsem ne points na befa no 11 be na ye de amamo. The double track policy was never introduced as an end in itself. It was an innovative SHS program. At the time, the MPP government was confronted with 2 options: either infrastructure or adopt a transitional model that guaranteed access while expanding school education supply, because there was no classroom to accommodate them. And see, a drum free SHS no enrollment in the course. And the NPP was in between 2 options: either they will find money to increase infrastructure, teachers. Increase the number of teachers. Now, omatimi accommodate the enrollments na akosro no. And now say ombefa kwan fufuro biswa, they can contain all the number of students ababe doso no. And infrastructure any a different initiative of which they picked the double track system. And it's sad time no now mu hia sa ombesi yadan increasing infrastructure well they started some baby but then call for double track system green gold we mu corner we ma betena fie be 3 months now we mu so be 1 month no ma bana we ma call. It was very confusing because etina be hu kofi na unko school was yo there be o green for na be fie na otifie kofi na sesi a we mu no omu call was kofi na unko school was me wo gold enti nipa ba ko no wo green o sa wo gold no otifie enti school no onko obetena ne nam ho saa enti na omu hu ne se emwa ere na education minister de tu dwa no na kwesi kwatin de ekire mu a na enya ade a ebe so bibia no de na hia sa wosenke ye was to build infrastructures. Education is built on 3 key pillars: access, quality, and relevance. At the time, Ghana graduates enable to secure SHS admission every year through free SHS and the double track system education. Etina enema osi here for education, access, quality, and relevance. Enti eno kwesi kwaten nisem bi odi tudwa na the minister's claim becomes even more untenable when one considers learning outcome reflected it. Year 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023 are the only years in the last decade in which these candidates are products of the double track system. That single fact caution quality of education. Eti ochemwa minister no and some of the two channel said or say, so let's take the point 3. The double track policy delivered measurable outcomes, Contrary to the minister's assertion, about 15 to 1 increased instructional hours from 6 to 8 hours a day created employment for while government aggressively expanded its infrastructure. These are not opinions, they are indeed. Indeed, by February 2024, about 70% of SHS had already transitioned off double track system. Minister, some of the two judge said double track system no ono no hu say double track system ni bom boy because one you increase the instructional hours from 6 to 8 hours time on the pon you increase it to 8 hours and you go school ma time on pon you increase it that one will cater for some of the lost hours e was engage school for no e wo school mu no and ni nyina ka ho bi e no hu say boy e ma omo etimi school for no dodo na ewo schools mo enti ensemo for education minister the etu dwa no ono hu ni say enseda ento asomu because omo make sure say measures ahodo no omo di begu akwan mu ama double track system no aye enti o say 2020 2021 2022 and 2023 the only years in the last decade candidates were products of the double track system enti ensema Honorable Minister, Eddie Tujano, and Yadia Oneno Ebe Yadre. No one has ever argued that the double track was a perfect policy. It was a transitional intervention while ignoring the millions of students whose lives it transformed. The measurable improvement was very there. An education minister has a duty to rise above political propaganda and assess policies before official records. He still cannot appreciate the rationale, necessity, and measurable impact of the double track system. Just as a minister, also here now we political space if you any now here data no how a double track needs to be buy because in as much as amount for the access to quality education so the access increase. A lot of people got access to attend senior high schools any day and so no the who say and yes sir and it's not on the same it's not on the same level with the education minister. Video way education minister then some of the two job parliaments in Emirates
at Prempeh College. The school boys decided to help them with a CCTV camera. I've seen the students go and pull it down because they don't want to be recorded. That's indiscipline. That's unacceptable. And the heaviest sanctions should be meted out to them by the Ghana Education Service. But I know, Mr. Speaker, we reviewed our capital punishment regime. And therefore, there is laxity. And many of these students are not punished for those unacceptable conduct. Mr. Speaker, only last week, I supported the Minister for the Interior and the Narcotics Control Institution to deal with the drug menace in schools. And you'll be alarmed that in some secondary schools, a student will have the courage to go and sell weed, marijuana, cannabis on school campus. Mr. Speaker, this should merit outright dismissal because if this doesn't happen, he will poison the rest of the students who are completely innocent. So I agree that there is a problem, there is growing in this. And then, Mr. Speaker, there is a case in the senior high school WASI exams where some students decided to beat up a teacher because he would not help them in writing the exams. We've had an incident of that nature recorded, that because the teacher and invigilators will be strict and vigilant, they decided to mess up with the teacher. So we may have to rethink and review our punishment regime and to clothe the Ghana Education Service with authority to deal ruthlessly with any student who misbehaves and finds himself wanting when it comes to the code of conduct of the school. So meanwhile, the Ministry of Education and GS, we are implementing a number of measures to strengthen discipline at the pre-education level.
Enti eno eye education minister nensem odi tudwa na yebesa akoni atie nsem no mu bio nensem odi tudwa no kiremu a nensem odi tudwa no kiremu a uko schools no mu a sese the way a yehwe yenkra no omo enema omo eye school mu obeko school mu the indiscipline na ekoso no nyina kire se de yesesa ye disciplinary actions e wo school mu ye mo akora ba yesua yeko school no chale yebetimi aboa ma waso be yehye but sese no sa bro no ne aba ken ni nyina ye free ho enti the children are becoming stubborn and that way maybe more the students are even beating the teachers because ye trays and so am ye enti ye po. It's not fine, it's not nice. Enti ni nyina mu na education minister de aba betudwa se omo behwe na omo ameki sure se saa niema we nyina eto ebetwa ewo ye schools ni mu enti eno ema ne de saa nsem ebetudwa na sese am no ka say kwesi kwate is on a different side as compared to what the education minister was actually saying about the double track system and the updates no at the amamo. And going forward, no, there is going to be a review of Ghana's education system. No, there's going to be a total review of Ghana's education system. And that is the update amamo. Yes, and the government to review disciplinary regime in SHS to empower SHS students. That is the update. To empower GES, so that they can deal with indiscipline in our countries. That is the update. Because the level of indiscipline in Ghana no akosho. China no pa anasa anadwi Ghana is playing Colombia. Enti yenim se yebehwe na ya tie Ghana Black Stars ya tie omachi ya support omo na omo etimi akonkoden na omo etimi e the victory no e the abre Ghana for enti yenyina yebehwe match ni bi all predictions are obetimi e the ato video yase na yebekan e the amount yebekan predictions ni nyina e the amount na ultimi win so so a yapekwan bi so na yabo aba so aha Pinax TV the updates bebre na e de brewo ye de mo ebesi e wa ha